If you're in no contact right now and every cell in your body is screaming at you to reach out, your brain is literally working against you. But here's what most people don't tell you. That unbearable feeling, it's actually proof that no contact is working. I'm Monica, a certified relationship coach, and today I'm breaking down the 5 psychological reasons why no contact works, even when it feels impossible. And by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly what's happening in your brain, and more importantly, in theirs. So let's dive in. Before we start, I want you to know something. If you're struggling with no contact right now, you're not weak. You're not pathetic. You're human. And your brain is doing exactly what it was designed to do, which is keep you attached to someone who once made you feel safe and loved. But here's the thing. Understanding the psychology behind why no contact works doesn't just help you stick with it, it transforms your entire healing journey. Because when you know what's happening beneath the surface, you stop questioning yourself and start trusting the process dots. So let's talk about what's really going on, starting with the most uncomfortable truth. ***, reason number 1, dopamine withdrawal. Reason number 1, you're going through dopamine withdrawal, and it's as real as any other addiction. Here's what most people don't realize. When you were in that relationship, your brain was getting regular hits of dopamine, the feel-good neurotransmitter, every time you texted them, saw them, heard from them. Your brain literally became wired to expect that reward. When you go no contact, you're cutting off that dopamine supply cold turkey. And your brain, it panics. It sends you intrusive thoughts. It makes you obsess over their social media. It convinces you that reaching out just once won't hurt. This is called intermittent reinforcement, and it's the same psychological mechanism that makes gambling so addictive. Sometimes they responded, sometimes they didn't. Sometimes they were loving, sometimes they were distant. That unpredictability made your brain crave them even more dots. So when you're lying awake at 2 a.m. wanting to text them, that's not love. That's your dopamine-starved brain trying to get its fix. Here's why no contact works. When you stop feeding that addiction, your brain has no choice but to rewire itself. Neuroscience calls this neuroplasticity your brain's ability to form new neural pathways. But it takes time. Usually 30 to 90 days. Every day you don't reach out, you're weakening those old neural pathways and building new ones. You're teaching your brain that you can feel safe, happy, and whole without them. And here's the kicker. While you're detoxing from them, they're detoxing from you too. Which brings us to reason number 2. Reason number 2. Breaking the trauma bond. Reason number 2. No contact breaks the trauma bond, and that's why it feels like you're dying. Now. Not every relationship has a trauma bond. But if your relationship had highs and lows, push and pull, breakups and makeups, you probably have one. A trauma bond isn't about love. It's about survival. Trauma bonds form when you experience intense emotional highs followed by intense emotional lows with the same person. Your nervous system gets stuck in a cycle of anxiety and relief. They hurt you, then they soothe you. They leave, then they come back. And your brain starts associating that chaos with connection. This is why you can logically know someone is wrong for you, but emotionally, you can't let go. Your nervous system is addicted to the cycle. Here's the brutal truth. The only way to break a trauma bond is to stop the cycle completely. No contact is the circuit breaker. When you go no contact, your nervous system finally has space to regulate itself. You stop living in fight or flight mode. You stop waiting for the next text, the next apology, the next letdown. And yes, it feels like withdrawal. Because it is. But here's what happens on the other side. You start to feel calm. You start to feel like yourself again. You stop mistaking anxiety for love. And while you're healing your nervous system, something interesting is happening to them, which leads us to reason number 3. Reason number 3, cognitive dissonance in your ex. Reason number 3. No contact creates cognitive dissonance in your ex, and that's when they start questioning everything. Let me explain. Cognitive dissonance is the psychological discomfort someone feels when their beliefs don't match their reality. When your ex ended things or pulled away, they told themselves a story. I don't want this anymore. They're not right for me. I need space. I'll be happier without them. But here's what they expected. They expected you to chase, to beg, to prove them right by acting desperate. When you go no contact, you shatter that narrative. Suddenly, you're not chasing. You're not begging. You're just ... and now their brain has a problem. Wait, if they're not fighting for me, maybe I wasn't as important to them as I thought. Maybe I made a mistake. Maybe they're moving on. This is when exes start reaching out. Not because they suddenly realize they love you, but because their ego can't handle the dissonance. Here's the key. No contact isn't about manipulating them into coming back. It's about giving them space to feel the consequences of their choice and giving yourself space to heal regardless of what they do. Because here's the truth. If they come back, you want them to come back because they genuinely want you not. Because they're uncomfortable with you moving on, and while they're sitting with that dissonance, you're doing something even more powerful, which is reason number 4. Reason number 4. SELF-worth recalibration. Reason number 4. No contact recalibrates your self-worth, and this is the most important one. Here's what happens when you stay in contact with someone who doesn't choose you. You teach yourself that your love, your time, your energy is available even when it's not valued. You teach yourself that you're the one who has to prove your worth. You teach yourself that you're not enough as you are now. Contact flips that script. Every day you don't reach out, you're sending yourself a message. I deserve someone who chooses me clearly. I deserve someone who doesn't make me question my worth. I deserve more than breadcrumbs. This is what I call self-worth recalibration. And it's not about affirmations or bubble baths. It's about behavioral proof. When you stop chasing, you stop abandoning yourself. When you stop waiting for them to see your value, you start seeing it yourself. And here's what's wild. The moment you stop needing them to validate you, you become magnetic. Not just to them, but to everyone. Because people are drawn to those who know their worth. But there's one more psychological shift happening during no contact, and it's the one that changes everything. That's asterisk.